Hey, what's going on, you guys? I get this question a lot. People asking me, telling me that they're new to Gunpla and they're looking for what kit they should buy first, or maybe they just got like one or two kits and wanting to know what kit should I buy next, what kit do I recommend, what kit is maybe good for a beginner or good for, someone who wants to get into painting or wants to get into modifying. Or you see this question around online a lot too, Facebook and other places, I'm sure. People asking, what kit should I buy next? What's good or bad about this kit? Things like that. What I want to do basically is now give you the best answer to that question and the most comprehensive answer that I can give you, while also keeping it relatively simple. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to start off by giving you just the most simple, best answer that I can give you, really, and then sort of move into a little bit more detail. So you can continue to watch from that point if you want, or I think maybe just the first point of advice is probably the best thing I can tell you guys. And so let's just go ahead and get into it. There's going to be later 5 things that I'm going to break it down in a way that there's 5 points basically that you need to consider when getting what kit you want. But the best advice that I can give you guys, if you're looking for what kit to buy for your first kit or your second kit or your 20th kit, whatever, just buy whatever kit looks good to you. That's really all there is to it. There really shouldn't be too much more thought that you have to put into it. If you're able to buy the kit and it looks good to you, then just go for it. Don't worry too much about your skill level, and I'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. But that's the first point. The second point is probably one of the best resources that we have in order for checking out kits that maybe you're interested in or not, or maybe finding kits that maybe you didn't even know existed, is dalong.net. Dalong.net. It's actually a Korean guy's website, but everything there, the names of the Gundams and stuff you can get in English too. He has a lot of text in there for them. It's all in Korean. But if you're interested in checking out a kit, on his site you can see all the boxes, every sheet of the manual is scanned, so you can check out all of the construction there. You can see all the runners, you can see the kit when it's all snapped up, what it looks like, what the articulation is like. Anything you could possibly want to know about pretty much any kit is on there on his website. So it's like the best resource online for finding out stuff about kits, other than probably here on YouTube if you want to watch videos. But if you don't want to be bothered finding the video you want to look for, just go to Dalong. At the top there's like MG, HG, RG, all that stuff. Just go there, find the kit you're looking for, and you can find out stuff about that. Or just go there and just check out, look through the kits and find something that looks cool for you. Then go to your shopping website, wherever you buy your stuff, and then see if it's available. That being said, he doesn't have everything on there. Basically, if it's a lot of the older kits, basically anything before 2000, before the Master Grade line and before the HGUC line, I think he doesn't really have a whole lot on there. So the older Wing and maybe Gundam X, those older HG kits, and then of course the old ADIUS kits and stuff. All of that stuff he doesn't have on there. But pretty much anything from 1999 on, he's got on that website. So, and then other non-Gundam stuff as well. So that's the best advice I can give you guys right off the bat. Number 1, just go for whatever looks good. Number 2, use dalong.net for doing your research. That's it. Now, I will get into a little bit more detail now. If you're still wondering about what kit you want to buy, there's basically 5 points that I've broken it down to and things you consider. So number 1, I kind of already touched on. The first thing is the design. So just a design that you like. Obviously, it's going to be your kit. So I know that seems really simple, but that's really the first and foremost thing you really have to consider when trying to figure out which kit you want to buy for yourself. Everything else basically follows after that, because if it's a design that you don't like, then there's really no point to even consider it any further on after that, right? The second thing you should consider then is also the price. So how much do you want to spend? An HG or something is obviously going to be a lot cheaper than a Master Grade or a Perfect Grade. So maybe there's some Master Grade that you really, really like, but you don't have enough money to buy that. So just wait. Think about the price, how much you want to spend, and also consider that maybe buying especially if you're a beginner, going for a cheaper kit and then using some of the other money instead to buy some more tools, paints, or something else that's going to help you improve your techniques and things like that as well. Maybe if you have like a $50 budget, instead of buying one master grade, you could buy a high grade and then a bunch of supplies that you need that will help you to improve the look of your high grade. So, and then a lot of those supplies you're going to be able to use more on future kits as well. So I think that's something you should also consider when you're thinking about the price. Think about buying other things other than just the Gundam itself. The third thing I want to talk about is availability. This is the third thing you have to consider. Maybe there's a design you really like, the price is good, but the availability might be difficult, as in it might be difficult to find that particular kit. Now, pretty much all Bandai kits are still technically in production. That means although the kit might temporarily be hard to find, Bandai will eventually do another production run of them. Bandai very rarely discontinues Gundam kits. I think the last kit that they permanently discontinued was the Master Grade Unicorn Verka. And even before that, I'm not sure what other kits have been discontinued. It's pretty rare to my knowledge. Of course, there are things to consider when you're wanting to get new kits, like exclusive kits and premium Bandai kits. Those are the kind of things that if it's a design you like, you're not going to want to wait on that. Get it right away if you can, because it's only going to be harder to get later. But if it's a kit that you really want and you can't currently get it, just wait. Eventually you'll be able to get it. There's plenty of other things, I'm sure. There's so many kits available. If there's that one that you really want, I'm sure there's other ones you can find to hold you over until you can eventually find the one that you really want. So the fourth thing to consider, and this is, I think, a point where a lot of people get hung up the most, is considering your skill level or experience. Now, especially for a beginner, if you're choosing your first kit or one of your first kits, you may be thinking, well, I'm not ready for a master grade or a perfect grade or a real grade, but or maybe you've built a couple HGs and you think, all right, now I'm ready for a master grade, but I'm not sure I want to go for like a little bit easier master grade. Gunpla at any grade essentially is using the exact same steps. You have your runners, you have your instruction manual, which are all going to be basically the same. Of course, with a master grade or perfect grade or real grade, something you have obviously a lot more parts, but essentially you're cutting the parts from the runners, we're cleaning the nub marks, and then doing whatever else you're going to do, painting or panel lining, decals, all of that. With a more complex kit like a perfect grade or a master grade, it's just more of the same step. I mean, the basic steps themselves are not going to change whether you're doing a super simple SD or a perfect grade. I mean, the perfect grade is going to be more complex in the construction, but the basic techniques will be the same. So that's why I always tell people, like, if you can build an SD or an HG, something really simple, then you can build anything, really. The steps are exactly the same. So, of course, the complexity of the build on some of the kits, like some of the more complex master grades, real grades, perfect grades, are obviously a little bit more complex, but what that comes down to basically is your ability to just read the manual, which is honestly very, very simple. If you can't figure out how to read the manual on even a more complex kit, then that is maybe due to some other problem other than your Gunpla ability. The other thing about that is that by saying I'm not ready for a master grade or I'm not ready for a real grade or something like that is limiting yourself, and you shouldn't limit yourself. Just again, just go for something that you like and just try it. And if you're, for some reason you get it and you're working on it and you can't finish it, it's too complex for you or something for some reason, you can always set it aside and then build a couple other kits, maybe build up your experience a little bit more, then go back to it. It's not going to just degrade if you don't finish it right away. So, and number 5, the last point that I think is important to consider is the possibilities of the kit. Now, this is maybe when you get to be a little bit more experienced, but even as a beginner, this is something that I think you should keep in mind when you're choosing what kit you want to buy, is what can you do with the kit to make it your own. So maybe what opportunities do you see with the kit to advance your skills, whereas like, okay, it's a kit that you know it's going to have some seam lines on it, so you can look at that as an opportunity to practice removing seam lines. Or it's a kit that maybe the proportions don't really quite appeal to you, and you think it might be a good opportunity or a good chance to improve the look of the kit by practicing some simple modification to change the proportions a little bit, lengthening or shortening some of the limbs or something like that. Or, adding other weapons or subtracting parts or doing damage, whatever you want to do, you should consider that when you're buying a kit too, how to make the kit your own. So that's it. If you're wondering what kit to buy next, what kit you should buy for your first kit, or if you're wondering at all of looking for suggestions, what kit you want to buy, that's it. Go to dalong.net, find a design you like, check out the price, see if it's within your price range, check out some online shops that you can use, check out if it's available. Consider your skill level by not really considering your skill level. I mean, that's a kind of important thing that I talked about, but I talked about it more in the fact that it's something that I think you should not consider so much. So yeah, again, just sort of put aside your thoughts of your own skill level or experience, and then finally think about what can you do with that kit once you have it, because yeah, you've checked it out online and you've seen what it's supposed to look like, but I think one of the greatest joys of this hobby is getting the kit and making it your own in some way, changing the colors, doing some other sort of modification or anything. So that's it, guys. That is going to be my comprehensive guide of how to choose the kit, the right Gundam, the right Gunpla kit for you. Now, I just want to finish it up. I do have a couple examples here. I didn't want to go through and find examples of every single grade or everything, but just an example of an SD, obviously, and I've also gone over these, the grades in my Gunpla building kind of tutorial kind of series. The first video from there, I went over the grades, I think, a little bit more extensively. Just sort of summarize it. SD and HG are usually what people recommend for beginners. Here's an SD, the new X Standard Gundam, and then the new HG Barbatos. SD and HG are going to be usually what are recommended for beginners just because they're relatively simple, not too large, not too many parts, so they're usually good for beginners. Although, again, I think you shouldn't limit yourself to that if there's, for example, a master grade that you really love the look of it. Even if it's your first kit, I mean, just go for it. Anyway, but master grades are going to be a little bit more larger for one, higher part count. Here's the master grade Kämpfer. This is an older master grade, so that is one thing I guess I didn't mention, but hopefully it should kind of go without saying, is consider the age of the kit. If it's an older kit, obviously it's going to be a little bit different than a newer kit in terms of the construction and things like that. So master grade, more parts, and a little bit more complicated build because they're usually involving an inner frame. So a little bit more complicated there. A real grade, I don't have a real grade here to show you guys, but a real grade is going to be essentially similar to a master grade, but just in the smaller scale. So you're working with a lot of really small parts, but again, I wouldn't let that be too much of a deterrent for you because I have really big hands and I build RGs with no problem. And then also we have a perfect grade, which the only thing I have on hand here at the moment is the bust of the perfect grade Banshee Norn here. It's just to give you a little bit of a comparison for the size anyway. Obviously, perfect grades are going to be much more complex, a lot of parts, but again, essentially same steps, cutting out the parts, putting them together. That's pretty much it. So that's it, guys. If you want to see more about the grades in a little bit more detail, I talked about them in more detail in that video. I'll try to put a link to that in this one. Otherwise, hope that was helpful for you guys. Hope that answered that question. Now, if anyone ever asks me that question in the future, I can just send them a link to this video, and that'll be a quick way to answer that. So share this video with your friends. Let me know what you think, guys. Did I miss anything? I probably did. Or what do you think of my analysis of how to choose the best kit for you? It's kind of what I think you should think about when choosing your kit. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.